So I don't think it's an existential threat. It's clearly a reputational threat. Existential threats from law firms are a function of a lack of financial integrity, some breach of canons of ethics in any kind of material way that ends up forcing the environment some way, the context, the legal industry clients to feel as if the firm cannot be trusted. Now, there clearly are situations in which hacking goes on for industrial espionage, maybe to get a benefit in the securities markets, but generally speaking, an existential threat for a law firm is a function of law firms having done a bad thing, and you've seen it over a long period of time. People misuse clients' money. There's either an internal or an external threat with things like the unfortunate happenings at Dewey LaBeouf. So I don't really think it's an existential threat. We all know that we're targets, but so are the clients. So from my point of view, it's not an existential threat.
Senator, how do you see things?
Well, certainly law firms are different from a financial institution because there's a different type of material that can be gleaned, or a different type of substantive action that can be taken by a hacker to a financial institution. But at the same time, what we do is we advise ourselves the same way we advise a client when it comes to being prepared. We have a response plan, folks know what to do, we run tabletops, we fish our own lawyers trying to make sure that they're not careless. But at the same time, the information that you can glean from a law firm probably is boring compared to what you could get from the Department of Defense or from a financial institution.
All right, I'm anticipating your answer because we talked about this a little bit before you got here today. Lay it on me.
I have to tell you that I agree with a lot of what you guys are saying, but a lot of it is really different. Law firms have a higher duty. They have different ethical obligations. They've got to adhere to a higher standard. And as much as I hate to say this, I think the problem's been underreported, not overreported. I think all of us have done the right thing. I actually looked all of our firms up, and we're all in this 31 person, we're 31 out of the 100 firms in the AmLaw 100 that are on gold standard, sort of, the ISO 27001, and we've all gone through the exercises.
Right, we did that on purpose, by the way. We want the best of the best here.
Lee, you always do.
No schlubs at the table.
No schlubs at this table. So, but I think, you know, we've got reporting requirements. We've got ethical requirements, and frankly, our clients demand a higher standard from us than we even demand of ourselves, and we're pretty tough on ourselves. So, for example, the last few times that our firm has submitted proposals for RFPs, we've had to tell them what our cybersecurity measures were, and that was one of the most important things that they looked at. So, I think it's underreported. I think a lot of us have a lot of very sensitive information. For example, those of us that deal in the healthcare area, those of us that deal with employee data, fraud, all kinds of issues. And secondly, we've also, you know, we deal with very sensitive information, let me put it that way. And we also have these pesky ethical constraints that make us ask questions like, what happens if we are hacked? What happens if an employee walked out the door with information? Do we have an obligation to tell our clients about it? Under what circumstances do we have that obligation? Under what circumstances don't we?
So we don't have hardline ethical professional standards on this stuff quite yet.
Well, I think the only standards that we have, I'll take the first crack at it, are from the model rules, which say that if you know of something that may be a malpractice, you're under an ethical obligation to disclose it. And I think most of us will not view this as malpractice unless we really haven't done what we're supposed to do, which is to have cyber compliance standards that adhere to our gold-plated standards that we're all into.
Cybersecurity is a massively complex, systemic issue. Both the private and public sectors are wrestling with it. These are threats that affect everyone around the world, from large institutions down to individuals with a credit card and a social security number. All of these issues around cybersecurity are complex in their own right, and the individual threats that we all face are as numerous as the institutions out there utilizing networks. Cy-pher is here to help you sort through these issues by covering the cybersecurity news of the day and bringing you the facts straight from the experts in the field. Just like the rest of the Mimesis Law network, Cy-pher will bring you primary source news pieces from the people who know it best. We'll help you sort through the constant stream of information to help you understand the challenges, the technology, the systems, and the cultures leading to the threats we're continuing to face. I invite you to join us here on Cy-pher, only from Mimesis Law.